To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las
This here's a wild ride in the wilderness.
When indiscreetly trapped doors change.
So today on Miles from Main Street, we are talking Thanksgiving. It's just about that time. It's November, and it's turkey time. I think it's November 2nd already, or is it the 1st? I think it's the 2nd.
Yes, today is the 2nd, all day long.
All day. It's been the 2nd all day. But it's right around that time, so we decided to talk about some Thanksgiving stuff. It's the holiday season. I know I've actually done Thanksgiving at the parks. I had a really great time. Bryan, have you ever done Thanksgiving at the parks?
No, I have never been there in November, December. That is kind of the bucket list right now. We're taking our trip to Disneyland in February, and then I think the next time period we go is going to be for the Christmas holidays. However we can make that work. So that's what we want to do. We want to see Disney World at Christmas.
Oh yeah, I've been. I think Thanksgiving, when I was there for Thanksgiving, was the longest period of time I was there during kind of the Christmas season when they had all their Christmas decorations out and everything. But I've also been. I've been to Disney during the Christmas season the day after Christmas. I was there with my sister and brother. I've done that before. And I think those are the only times that I've been around the parks during Christmas time. And I have to say, just the way they're dressed up, and this is kind of topical right now because I'm sure that's happening, or it's already happened. They're dressing up the parks and everything to look a little bit more holiday. I know that they don't do it all at once. People say that a lot, where they say, "Oh, they put up all of the Christmas decorations the day after Halloween," and that's not completely accurate.
Before you get going too far, guys, if you're having a great time listening to our show, please go out and share it with somebody and let them know how much you're having fun. You're right. They don't do it every night, or they don't do it overnight. Mm-hmm. They do a lot overnight.
Yeah.
But, like in the case of this week, they had the Halloween party until midnight. And I think they do that every year. The Halloween party goes until midnight on Halloween. And so they only get about 8 hours that they can, get people in there, get it transformed. So they had a lot of the entry area done the morning of the 1st. Mm-hmm. Right, like they had redone the topiaries of Mickey and Minnie to have them all Christmased up, put some presents around them. They had the poinsettia boughs hanging off of the train station, and they had some of the decor up on Main Street, but the tree was not up yet. And I'm assuming that's because they just don't have enough time to get it put up that night. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was up today.
Oh, cool.
So they do get it turned around quick, and they do say that it, they kind of give themselves a little bit of a, I don't know, deadline, but they do say like November 8th is going to be the day that it's ready to go. Jingle Cruise did open today.
Oh, yeah.
So they've got that ready to go. So they're, these are all great things that I have not yet got to see. So.
Yeah, and when I was there, honestly, I can't remember Jingle Cruise all that much when I was there, just because it was a whirlwind of a day while I was there. But yeah, it's very magical. But we are here to talk about Thanksgiving, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of like talk about my experience. So what we ended up doing, so we were actually eating. We were in the parks for Thanksgiving, so we were eating our Thanksgiving dinner inside the parks. I had decided that we were going to eat at Epcot because Epcot has the best food. However, for this, like if you're looking to do Thanksgiving dinner in the parks, they actually have Thanksgiving dinner at a lot of different spots, and it's not all the same food, but it's the same type of food. But we decided to go to Rose and Crown, mainly because that was all we could really find. So if you're looking to go somewhere specific on that day, definitely use the 60 days if you're staying on property to book, because Rose and Crown was almost like all we could find when we decided to book.
There's nothing like a good old English Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Exactly. And
Do they serve the fish and chips right next to the turkey, or
I'll have a fish and chip. I'm not even gonna try. Actually, sounded a
That
little
was
bit
terrible.
like I sounded like a little bit like a beetle. I'm a beetle. But yeah, it was cool because they actually, at all these spots, they have a Thanksgiving dinner menu. So it's like you can order the Thanksgiving dinner while you're there, and it'll be like turkey and gravy and stuffing and everything. But they also have their real menu. And it was funny. My whole family was there. We were there for Thanksgiving, and we were at the Rose and Crown. And everybody was kind of like, "Oh yeah, the Thanksgiving dinner looks really good. Like, we'll probably do that." And as soon as we sat down and we were like in like the Rose and Crown, we were actually like on the patio of Rose and Crown, which is kind of cool because we're like right on the water. But like once we were in there and like getting those like European like pub vibes, I don't think any of us actually ordered the Thanksgiving dinner for it. So
because fish and chips just doesn't go with turkey?
Exactly.
Or was it the cranberry sauce that doesn't go with Anyway.
Anyways, yeah.
You know, I was looking up different places that you can get your Thanksgiving meal, and Epcot was kind of the place that came up as like the place to go. They've got many different places, like you said, you know, Rose and Crown, Beer Garden, Coral Reef, Garden Grill. They all have some sort of turkey plate, Le Cellier, Sunshine Seasons, and they all do this special just for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
American Holiday Table, which it looks like they do something like this from Thanksgiving through the holidays.
Oh, cool.
Through Christmas and Kwanzaa up until December 30th is what they're saying here. So I'll tell you guys right now, my source today is undercovertourist.com. I will put the link to their article out on the show notes so that you guys can go and look at it too, because there's a lot of detail on here. I'm just going to be skimming over some of it. So I appreciate them putting out this nice little article for us to use.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know when I was booking all of my stuff, I was super novice in like knowing what happens during Thanksgiving, but Disney was really cool about like informing you about like all of the different options of the things you can do. The next thing I kind of wanted to talk about is how busy things get. And honestly, when we were there for Thanksgiving, like over that weekend or like week that we were there, it was definitely busier. I feel like when we were there, Animal Kingdom was the least busy, but I think we did Animal Kingdom pretty well while we were there. But yeah, like Magic Kingdom, it was just packed. Hollywood Studios was packed. And you just kind of have to understand that it's a holiday weekend. It's a holiday day. And so, but I have to say that like, even when I was there on Thanksgiving on the day, like, yeah, it was busy, but like, it wasn't like crazy, like hectic. Like, yeah, there was a lot of people there and there were like long lines for things, but it like didn't feel like too intense. Probably the busiest, well, that's not true. The busiest day that I was ever in Disney was definitely the day after Christmas. And we were also park hopping that day. So that was a crazy day. But yeah, it's just kind of like, you have to understand that, you're there for the holidays, utilizing. Now it's called Genie Plus. It was definitely called Fast Pass back when I was there. But utilizing that is pretty important, and just kind of like going in knowing that it's gonna be busy and you're gonna be around a lot of people, and yeah, just kind of like you have to have an open mind about that. Like, you're not gonna you're not going to get away from the crowds. The crowds are going to be everywhere.
I think I can relate a little bit to this. We went in 2019 during spring break, which is also another quite busy time for Disney. And to go during that time, you got to have a plan. And that's what I tell everyone. You need to have a plan, right? We had the nice thing about the old Fast Pass system is that you could kind of plan your day ahead of time, which I like because I find it harder to do things on the fly sometimes because you are going and going and going and trying to get here or there. At least you are, Mikhailo, right? You're going to be jumping around
constantly, running, sprinting.
Yeah. And so it can be hard to get on your phone and get that next thing planned when you're doing that. But so I was able to kind of build a plan. We did the rope drop thing, but then, you build in breaks, you find ways to avoid crowds. And you can have a great time if you do that. So, definitely have a plan. If you're going for Thanksgiving, I work with, I live now with 2 teenagers that are on a school schedule. My wife is on a school schedule now. She has a job that she can't get away during the school year very easily. So, when it comes time to take a vacation, we're looking at Thanksgiving weekend, Christmas break, spring break. Those are the times. And unfortunately, that's when a lot of the country is going to be traveling as well. So, be sure you're ready. Be sure you have a plan. One of the tricks I use is touring plans. They've been doing this for over 20 years now, helping people figure out how to best use their time. So that is definitely something that you should be using for Thanksgiving, Christmas, spring break, any of that.
Yeah, and I heard one time I was listening to DFB and Disney Food Blog. If you don't know that acronym, look them up. They're on the YouTubes. They're pretty awesome. But they were talking about how, like, sometimes you can't avoid going during busy times, and especially like when you're a school teacher, like somebody who like their vacations are during peak vacation times. But also another thing is like sure, it might be super packed, and it might be busy, but you may be super jazzed to go during that time because you're going during Thanksgiving. I remember when I was going, I was actually super excited about this because I was at Disney during like the holiday time, like the holiday season, both with being there for Thanksgiving and being there for Christmas, like the day after Christmas. Like that was really exciting for me. Granted, there were definitely a lot of people and it was very busy, but that might be something that kind of outweighs the crowds, is being in Disney, being in your happy place on a holiday. So it's not so much something that like you should extremely dread, especially if like it's really the only time you can go. Like if you're going during a holiday, sure, it's going to be busy, but you're also going to a holiday. That's why people show up. Like that's why people want to go, because the magic is like pushed to 11 when you're there, especially when they start doing things like the candlelight processional and stuff like that. All very magical. So I remember when I was there during Thanksgiving, it was very fun. And we'll just talk about the food for a little bit. Just like Disney knows food. Like Disney's very good at food. And granted, I didn't actually have their Thanksgiving food, but they have a spot in Magic Kingdom where you can get Thanksgiving every day. So they're doing the Thanksgiving food constantly.
Yeah, when you're in Magic Kingdom, if you ever are there and any time of the year, go check out the Liberty Tree Tavern if you want to try one of those Thanksgiving meals. And you can, test it out if you're there too. Like, should this be something we do for Thanksgiving? You don't necessarily always have to sit at home and make that meal. You can go out to eat. It's okay.
Or you can be like the Herniacs and get fish and chips and traditional English food for Thanksgiving, because that's what we did.
Shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now the what'd you say it was, the Diamond Horseshoe is also serving Liberty Tree Tavern food, so you can go there as well and get the same thing. And as far as year-round food, you can also go to Earl of Sandwich, who's going to have a Thanksgiving, or it's a turkey sandwich, has the cranberry sauce on it. I think it's always very good. They have that year-round, so that's something that you can always. My daughter is crazy about Christmas, so I think that's going to be something that she would always be interested in. So.
And we can have this talk. And it's funny that we keep bringing up Christmas during our Thanksgiving episode, and it's for good reason. That's because Thanksgiving is really just pre-Christmas.
I don't think of it that way, but
I mean, think of it.
It kind of rings in the Christmas season for me.
In the parade, the last float is Santa Claus.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, it's pre-Christmas.
Okay. Well, I don't okay.
I mean, I might.
Do you have turkey on Christmas and Thanksgiving?
I think that's actually usually what I do. However, I have in the past shown an interest in making what's that stuff called? It's a roast wrapped in like a flaky bread crust.
Oh,
what is that called? It's real.
Wellington?
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, beef Wellington. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay made it once, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll probably do that. And so I've always wanted to make that for Christmas, because I think that would be cool. Probably not as easy as I think it is, but that always seemed like a worthy thing to be eating for Christmas. But yeah, I usually will eat turkey or something like that for Christmas. So it's like turkey for Thanksgiving, turkey for Christmas. I think. Actually, in A Christmas Carol, they buy a turkey, right? Yep. they get a turkey for Christmas. So I mean, yeah, I think ham has been something that we've eaten for Christmas too.
Goose was always a popular one. I don't know how much it is nowadays, but yeah, goose.
Well, wasn't that from A Christmas Story? Because they went to the
Chinese
place
Christmas
and had goose. It's smiling at me.
Yeah. A new Christmas Story is coming out too. Christmas Story Christmas.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So back to Disney. This article I referenced, they have every spot on property that you can get something. And while I'm not going to read out everything, there's pretty much, any spot that has a sit-down restaurant is going to have something. Mm-hmm. And as you said, it's going to be busy. So it's going to be hard to get these reservations. So you're going to want to be on that at your 60-day mark, making your reservation. And if you haven't, and you're listening to this right now and you're going in a couple of weeks, you probably are going to want to get on there and start stalking. Yeah. And there are services out there. Touring Plans is another one that'll do it, that can help you find reservations as they open, because people will cancel. Yeah. So, I mean, you can get, we already touched on Liberty Tree Tavern. There's a few other places over there in Magic Kingdom that you can go to. And I mentioned Epcot, right? There are places in Epcot all over the place that you can get stuff, be it sit down, or I'm seeing refreshment port on here. You can get a turkey poutine, which is French fries with turkey gravy, cranberry relish, and crispy onions. So there you go. And a pumpkin spice ginger delicious. Cocktail to wash it down.
Oh my God. That sounds great.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Over at Hollywood Studios, you got the Brown Derby, Hollywood and Vine, 50s Primetime, which, all this stuff. Hollywood and Vine, they added on to the buffet. 50s Primetime and Hollywood Brown Derby are both great places to go eat. So, the food's going to be, this turkey dinner is going to be good. Over at Animal Kingdom, Restaurantosaurus, Satuli Canteen, those are both quick serves. So they probably have, something decent, I would think. There's a Thanksgiving Duo Bowl over at Satuli Canteen. A combination of grilled beef and turkey with gravy, stuffing, and red and sweet potato hash.
Oh.
I'd try it.
Yeah.
Tiffin's Tusker House. I said I wasn't going to read all this, but here I go. I'm getting hungry. One of the things that I saw that I thought was kind of interesting is Chef Art Smith's Homecoming. They're known for their chicken, right? That fried chicken. I'd probably go eat that if you want to eat there. Go have some chicken. But the next day, if you haven't had enough on what we Americans like to call Black Friday, go check out the Thanksgiving leftover sandwich at Chef Art Smith. Only available on the 25th this year, which is Black Friday. So I think that's a great option that they've thrown out there. Irish Thanksgiving, you can go to Raglan Road. Little Irish Thanksgiving. Bacon braised Brussels sprouts just jumped out at me there. That's interesting. And some of the places that are doing it, some of them will do it Thanksgiving and through the weekend. Some of them will just do it on Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving. So, there's plenty of places around the resort too. If you're staying in a hotel somewhere, you're probably going to be able to get some turkey there too. So, don't think you're going to miss out because it's there and it's available. So when you were there on Thanksgiving and you were touring the parks and you said it was busy, did you feel like you weren't able to do what you wanted?
I would have to say no, mainly because I don't think I've ever really felt that way when I've gone to Disney, even if we were like, oh, the park was super busy. But I feel like all the major things that we wanted to do, we got done. Yeah, and I think that's the thing is that you just have to have patience when you go in. Obviously, if you're trying to get if Kristen and I did our vacation that we recently did during a busy time, possibly then I'd be like, oh, we didn't get everything done because we were trying to do a lot, but. As long as you're not being unreasonable and you have patience and you just understand that it is going to be pretty busy, you can accomplish a lot.
Okay. So do you think you felt the crowds?
We definitely felt the crowds. There were certain there were always those pinch points, kind of like right when you get to the end of Main Street and everybody is stopping to take pictures. Those kinds of pinch points where people just kind of naturally congregate, those were were really packed. I think Main Street was packed pretty much the entire time we were there. And so, yeah, you could definitely feel it while we were there. Epcot I have to say, Epcot actually lightened up on Thanksgiving Day. And I think it's because unless you were there for a vacation, you were probably going to a family outing or something like that.
Oh, sure.
And it definitely, it was pretty busy during the day, but it lightened up a lot at night. But yeah, it's anywhere there were those natural pinch points. Animal Kingdom was a little better. I feel like Animal Kingdom never really does feel too crazy busy just because of how well they've made that park. But kind of the same thing. If you're around that little African the where you first walk into Harambe, that was always packed in that area and stuff like that. So
it's always packed there anyway because of the
yeah.
Burudika when they're playing, and performing, yeah.
And they were definitely doing that because this was pre-pandemic, way pre-pandemic.
Oh, sure. Awesome. I think I'll still continue to say, if you want to go. It doesn't matter when or how. Just get there and do it, but have a plan in place.
So here's my question to you, Bryan.
Okay.
Where do you think you would want to have Thanksgiving dinner if you were going to have Thanksgiving dinner at Disney?
If I was going to actually have Thanksgiving dinner there, well, at first it depends on which park I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess since you've put me on the spot, I'm going to have to say Liberty Tree Tavern, because that's the place that I've always heard about, and that's the place that everyone talks about being good. And most likely that's the park I'll be in, so why not?
Oh, for sure. And it's funny, when I was thinking about asking you this question, that's what came to my mind first, was that, like, because I just want to do that. Like, I've never eaten at Liberty Tree Tavern, so, like, I want to do that and experience the Thanksgiving there. But that was definitely what came to my mind too. I think the only kind of like runner up is possibly doing like Steakhouse 71 or California Grill. Cause like doing California Grill for Thanksgiving, like that would be insane. Like that would be really, really cool. But I think honestly,
and that better be some premium turkey though. Like,
oh yeah, really great turkey. But yeah, I feel like it would for me, I would want somewhere cozy, and like kind of like very warm, because that's what I always think of when, I think it's because I've always gone to my grandparents, and so like that's what I always think of, is just like this like warm cozy home with like all your family there, and so yeah, I mean I think Liberty Tree Tavern is where I would go to.
Yeah, I think that's a great option. And like I said, that's where I've always heard about. So, yeah. So we want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you would do. Where would you go? Send us an email. Let us know what you think Thanksgiving would be like there. If you've done it, we'd want to hear about that too. So please come on out to Instagram or Facebook. We are at Miles from Main Street on either platform. And Mikhailo, you've been doing some TikToks, haven't you?
I have, yeah. If you join us on TikTok, you're going to start to see some clips of us talking and some clips of Disney. So if you want to get into TikTok, we're going to try to be a little bit more active on TikTok. So you're going to be able to see maybe us sometimes, maybe some clips of the show. But yeah, look for us on TikTok at Miles from Maine ST at TikTok. I don't know. I don't know but I know that it's Miles from Maine ST, because that's what it made me do for TikTok. But yeah, just check us out there. We've already got a couple of videos up, but we're going to be putting up a little more.
And finally, guys, I just want to remind you about these stickers that I've gotten. If you guys want to get a sticker, we'd love to have you leave a review out on Apple Podcasts. Just take a screenshot, send it to me with your mailing address, and I'll drop one in the mail for you. I'd love to get these out into your hands, so let me know.
And Bryan, where can they find you?
Yeah, it probably should give them the email address, huh? It's milesfrommainstreetpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can find us on the website, www.milesfrommaineST.com. It's all in the show notes.
Or I believe you can DM us on Instagram. That's definitely a thing.
Anywhere that you know how to get a hold of us, you do it.
Anywhere you can DM, we will read them. Unlike other famous podcasters who don't read their... I've definitely never DM'd famous Disney people and they haven't read them. One of them did, and I'm not going to say her name. Oops, I said too much. Anyways, like we always say, some live close,
but others don't.
So let's talk about it. We'll see you next time on Miles from Main Street.